Hello and welcome to Countdown to Kickoff for Liverpool versus Porto. It's me again, Chris Brack's back, and I'm here with Conroy. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, mate. Had a bit of technical issues there, but it seems to be going fine now. So let's just touch wood that continues. But I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, mate, cracking. Just before we go any further, today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. So if you visit manscaped.com and enter the code LFCDT, you'll get 20% off and free shipping as long as you put it in at checkout. So all details in the description below. But thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring us again. So Champions League, we're back playing Porto. Feels like we play Porto every 2 years at the moment. So you looking forward to it?
Yeah, mate. It's a strange one. I was thinking this today. Actually, I was driving. I was like, do you know when it was like we won the Champions League and we had Benitez and stuff like that? I actually used to enjoy the away games, but it was never like you'd win it, but it'd be like a tactical battle, and you'd have a big win. I'm not saying we didn't have big wins under Benitez, but at times it was more tactically be solid, get the goal, and then just kind of maintain that and get through it. Whereas with Klopp, I don't know if that's ingrained in me, that feeling, because we've smashed some teams. We've actually smashed Porto in the Champions League away from home. So I don't know if I always feel like that towards away games. I'm always a bit more apprehensive. What about yourself? Are you looking forward to if we win quite comfortable?
Yeah, I look forward to it. Under Klopp, we're a bit hit and miss away from home at the moment in Europe. So, let's face it, we won the Champions League, not winning an away game, which is quite impressive, apart from Bayern. So, fingers crossed. Kev O'Sullivan, thanks for joining us in the chat, Kev. So much of Pepe being injured. I was thinking that. All I've heard all week is Pepe's injured, and he's starting centre back today, so he's not that bad. For those who haven't seen it, team's got along the bottom, but it is Alisson, Milner, Matip, Van Dijk, Robbo, Hendo, Fabinho, Jones, Salah, Jota, Mane. So I'll be honest. Let's start with the lineup. I was expecting a few more changes, to be honest. I just assumed he'd rotate and there'd just be a few more changes, but he doesn't seem to have wanted. He's gone stronger than I thought, actually.
Well, it is the Champions League at the end of the day, and he's probably thinking you'd rather get the points in the bag if you can. I'm not saying we're guaranteed to win tonight. However, I'm not surprised that any of the lineup apart from maybe one in the front three I thought would have got changed. Either a Origi or a Firmino came in, but I'm very surprised. I thought Shimikas was nailed on to play tonight. Two reasons. I don't see him playing Shimikas against Manchester City. I don't care, even if Shimikas is a cracker. It's a completely different ball game, the intensity of Manchester City at Anfield, and maybe it'd be good. But I thought tonight, definitely, and he'd probably just say to Robo, like, listen, Robo, you're not in great form now, but you know you've played City. You know how to rise to that occasion. You know what's expected. Just take this week off and focus on that. But he's played Robbo tonight, which I'm surprised with, because a lot of fans would say this, and listen, everyone knows I love Robbo more than anything. And it's like watching, it's like just having a Scottish international in the team you support, outstanding. But that was one of his poorest games at the weekend. He got an assist, but he was very, very poor. Couldn't even make simple tackles. It was a really, really, and we said it before the game. I said, watch this, won't have a good game. And that's exactly what happened.
It's all your fault, the result. I mean, to be fair, though, I've never known a game, that's a while since you could say everyone on the back four and Fabinho were all crap defensively.
Yeah, but it's simple things, Chris. Like, if you're not having a good game, right, block a cross or win a tackle, but don't try and win a tackle and then start a pass and move from that. Just win on the ball and hit it out. Stop complicating the game. And I mean, even see the Van Dijk's interception, that comes from Robbo losing the ball in the last minute.
Yeah, but
hopeless performance from Robbo at the weekend. Yeah, that's the worst I've seen him.
I thought all four were crap. I mean, how many times do you see Trent get overloaded three at the back and no one's thinking we should probably go over a bit and help him?
I agree. I think maybe I focus on his performance so much because he's obviously Scotland's captain as well. Yeah. However, everything he tried to do, it went basically wrong. I'm surprised he's starting, to be honest, mate. If you're Shimikas, you're probably thinking, how am I not starting tonight?
I think Tsimikas knows. I think Tsimikas has pretty much been told you get in the cups and probably the bottom 10 sides, especially at home. If we're playing, like when we play Brentford at home, I'd expect Tsimikas to start. I think that's what he's there for. I think he's there just to give Robbo breaks. But interestingly, Kev's put Pep's only made one change from the Chelsea win. So again, he's not rotating much. But I mean, first, they have a deep squad. The one that surprised me is I'm a little surprised Matip started. We know he doesn't do 3 games in a week. So this is his second game this week. So does that mean we'll rest him against City? Because would you really start Gomez or Canate against City? I don't know.
I know I'd said this, and people keep I was joking a bit tongue in cheek. Tongue in cheek, I said you just keep playing him until you can't. But to be honest, mate, he's played him. He is playing him in a lot of games, bar the Crystal Palace and the was it the Norwich game Kanate played as well. He's played quite a lot of games, so I don't know if it's just the feels. It's an important game tonight as well, though, Chris. I feel like it's easy to say rotate. It's Champions League at the end of the day. Champions League, it's important to get the wins when you can.
It is, but in my head, I'm going. I would be all right with one of Kanate or Gomez starting instead of Matip, because I don't think it really weakened you too much, if at all. And then midfield, I kind of expected that midfield, to be honest. That doesn't surprise me. And then I was like you, I thought maybe one of the front three might get a bit of a breather, as in you put Firmino in, or which, to be honest, if you put Firmino for one of the front three, it's still a good player. So, but look, we are. Perhaps his aim is trying. I mean, we never know it works out this way, but perhaps his aim is trying to get the game won early, and then he can take people off. But it's so fairly really works out that way. But we will see.
It might be a respect to Porto. He might feel like they've improved as well, and he feels like that team he's playing tonight is a team that can go and get the job done. He maybe just doesn't feel that putting another centre back in, he's maybe not seen enough yet to warrant a big Champions League game. Apart from Tsimikas, though, I'm thinking more Gomez and Kanate coming in, even though I've been impressed. But he maybe think a Palace and Norwich is different to Porto away from home. It's the Madrigal. What's Porto Stadium called again? Is it the Madrigal? I always get mixed up with them in Valencia.
No, is it a drag?
Drag out. I think is it? Yeah. So it's like fans back in there, different type of atmosphere, different type of stage. Yeah. Maybe that's. But Klopp does these things sometimes. It confuses me. You can never read them.
No. Opinion in the comments. Klopp playing favoritism is getting a little much. I'm not quite sure where your favoritism comes from. If you want to elaborate who that is. Look, Tsimikas, he has done well, but there's also in my head he's done well against a certain level.
Yeah,
and we don't
I would have played Tsimikas tonight though, mate, because I just felt like Robbo was just so poor at the weekend. But
he was good the other games before that, so he's probably thinking, I need to go with what we know a little bit.
I get possibly because you said it's away from home and it's a big, but if Robertson plays like he played that, we'll concede again because I get what you're saying, and I do understand the comment as well because that frustrates me at times as well. It's like his sentimentality and favouritism, especially, for example, Bobby Firmino is the prime example of that. Like, Bobby could do nothing right and still continuously got played. However, that's the way he is, and that's why he's been so successful. So he's not going to. If he what is it? I can't remember the phrase, but he's made his bed. He'll lie in it. He's always been that way, Klopp.
I think in big games he goes with what he knows. He goes with who he trusts and he knows who can do it for him. But I mean, in fairness, Jota's pretty much played himself into form. So the options there. If Tsimikas keeps playing the way he does, then eventually Robbo is going to have you will be the occasion where Robbo's just not going to get picked.
Yeah, it's been a strange spell of games for Robbo because it was like Milan, he was superb. Leeds, he was pretty well. I'm not amazing tagging defensively, though. I had Rafinha in his pocket. And then the past two games, Chelsea was poor, and then Brentford was just very poor as well. So it's been a strange, whereas Tsimikas has been very consistent. I understand what the comments are saying, but I do think you're right, because it's in the drag out, away from home, he's probably thinking, stick to what you know. And that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
My only concern with Tsimikas is, and I think I've seen it in every game, he has a 10-minute spell where he turns into Albi Moreno, where he forgets what he's... I think he forgets he's playing. I think Klopp summed up perfectly. It's like someone takes the battery out of him. And I think every game he's had a 10-minute spell where he's literally like, forgot which foot goes where, So
it's hard to play Liverpool as a fullback in Liverpool system as well. It's not easy.
You're easily exposed as a fullback in Liverpool because that's the risk reward that we play with. But
exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, for them, it's a strong side. Pepe's in the side. Of Olivia. The big one for me is Luis Diaz. And I know Avi had always in the comments, but I know Avi raves about him.
Oh, loves him, yeah.
Yeah, but he looks like that'd be an interesting one. Luis Diaz is going to, good test with James Milner.
He plays left wing, but he can kind of play up front as well. Diaz, is that kind of he can roam about there?
Yeah, they have it on the telly as it being a 4-4-2 with Martinez and Tamari as a 2, and then Diaz on one wing, and so
proper left winger,
yeah. But he's we'll see what he did. He did well against Zaha, but again, he was also quite well protected. So I think it's a big game for Henderson. This is where Henderson needs to fill in. And look, Curtis Jones, 3 starts in 3. I actually thought it's a piss poor performance against Brentford. Apart from the opening goal, I thought Jones did pretty well. Actually, I thought he was one of the shining lights in the game.
No, it was great, mate. Hit the post as well, didn't he? People forgot he hit the post.
Kept it still, kept it ticking over. Incisive passing. Henderson was probably a close second behind him. They were probably the only two in the game that I thought did anything. So,
no, I think Jones is great. We said it previously, mate. I think he's great to have in the squad as well.
Yeah, I don't get the Jones. Jones seems to be the latest scapegoat. I've noticed this seems to be a bit of a thing at the moment that Jones is the new, it was Genie, now Genie's gone. There's always a player that everyone has to hate on, and it seems to be Jones's because he's not the shine. Maybe because he's not Harvey Elliott, he's not the new shiny toy now. But the lad's 20 and he's already got 50 appearances under his belt. He's scored in Champions League games. Give the lad a break.
Scored the winner in a Champions League game as
Correct.
well. We didn't create much against Ajax, and it was him who scored. So. Yeah, I like Jones. I don't get it either. I actually thought he was quite the shining lights last year, but there seems to be a narrative at times for any scapegoat. Most fan bases are like that, Chris. They'll always try and find someone to blame. It's not different for clubs. It tends to be the same. There's always going to be some fans who'll do that.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't see how it helps personally. Constructive criticism, fine, but don't need to single people out that bit. So there we go. Red Steve, I just hate Chris Brack. No time to hate Jones.
That's fair enough, mate. If you're going to be, that's fair enough. Stay away from Jones.
Yeah, in fairness to Steve, he's very consistent with me, so lovely. That's what I like to.
Aye.
Cool.
Consistency's key, mate. That's it.
That's one of your mates, Finners, isn't it?
That's Finners, yeah. How you doing, Finn?
Yeah. Can't hide behind a bad performance tonight if one happens. I expect a win, staying with team sheet. Hopefully, no knocks because fatigue is already against us versus City. Yeah, look, the good thing for us with the City thing is it's 5 days between the games. Same for City, but we've had to play the likes of City or Chelsea on less with less gap than that. 5 days is more than enough for majority of them to recover, even from little knocks. I mean, even the Trent injury. I say injury. They said he's got a sore groin, which that's just has to be precaution. Doesn't strike me as anything big or worrying. So they probably thought, why risk of it a group game? And I get that. I think I reckon if it was the final group game, we needed the win. You probably with a sore groin or something like that, you probably find a way of playing. So
see on that comment, Chris. That's a really good comment by Finners. The question I've got is, I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks like this, but I know coaches say this, players say this, you take it game by game. I know that's not how it has always worked out, and at times you have to think about rotation, but for me, genuinely, it's so early in the season, it's a case of, you're going to be thinking about City, but I feel like Klopp is actually treating this like this is the second game in a Champions League group. Like, we need to try and get the win now as well. The City game is an afterthought. I, for one, agree with that. Some people will disagree with that. They'll say, you've always got to pick out ahead, but it's very difficult to do that because anything can happen in a game that could throw your plan out for the City game. So for me, I just think we need to focus on this game tonight and just try and get a good result.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is it's probably Klopp's a big fan of rhythm. It's the word he says all the time is rhythm, rhythm. So
intensity and rhythm.
Yeah, and plus also he wants for quite a few them. You were crap against Brentford, get the Brentford result out of your system. So for some players, he's probably thinking, I don't want their next game after Brentford to be City. So get it out, use up a difficult ball to get out your system. I think if we beat Brentford 3-0, maybe it'd change that a bit more. Thinking, well, they're all pairing, they're in the right headspace. Maybe just looked and gone, I need to knock this out of a few of them. So it wouldn't surprise me if on the hour, the one thing in Champions League is Klopp does use all 5 subs. He's very rare, we could criticise him for his subs in the Premier League, but in Champions League he tends to use all 5. So he's probably got a few of them saying, give me a 90 minutes run in an hour. And then you might see like Minamino coming off the last half an hour, people, and Firmino getting half an hour and things like that.
And the thing is, Chris, as well, it's a tough group. If we can get a win tonight, that's 6 points, right? The next game's home, isn't it? The next game will be Atletico at home.
Yeah, it's a double header against Atletico.
But at home, and if we get 3 points tonight, and then we're going into that knowing that a win is close to getting us through or putting us in a great position, I think you need to treat the Champions League like that. Personally, I do. I feel like there's always good teams. There's always hard games. We drew with Midtjylland away last year. We even the home game against Midtjylland, I thought we're very poor in that game. So nothing's a guarantee to Liverpool in the Champions League performance-wise. So that's why I feel like he's playing such a strong team tonight.
No, I mean, the other thing is, as Kez right points out, 6 points from 2 games does give you a cushion for later on in the group. I do wonder possibly if Porto's first results against Madrid, as that may also have changed maybe not change man, just reinforce playing what Klopp thought, which is they got a 0-0 against Madrid. And to be honest, if it wasn't for a dubious VAR decision, realistically, they should have won 1-0.
And there's two ways to look at that. It's like they drew, so we can kick on if we win tonight. And secondly, Porto have maybe not changed their ways, but improved. I actually thought they were tactically good against Juventus last year. Knocked them out. They're very good. And then, I think Chelsea knocked them out, didn't they? And they gave 2 individual errors. I think to make it 2-0 was shocking by their defender. Just gave the ball away. I think it was Chilwell scored last year for Chelsea. But they've adapted their ways, Chris. So that's really good, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I know there's always a stat that when we play Porto, we know we get to a final, but it's only when we play Porto in the knockout stages. And all Klopp's games against Porto before this season have been in knockout stages, so they know how to get out of groups. Kev, just getting the bench is the 2 keepers, Keller and Adrian. The fullbacks on the bench are Tsimikas and Nico Williams, and then we've got Konate, Gomez, and Phillips, Keita, Chamberlain, Firmino, Minamino, Origi. So that's the bench. So there's definitely options then that we can change. Hopefully, I say Keita getting half an hour just to wake him up. Assuming he doesn't kick the floor again. Just have to pre-warn him before the game.
Don't start, Chris. Don't start. Come on.
Watch out for that grass now. It's deadly there. So go on then, people in the comments. What score we predicted? While they're doing that, go on, Conroy. Who's going to be man of the match for us? I think. I think I said, what did I say? Brentford, I said Fabinho, and unfortunately he was horrendous. Which is
I did, I said Fabinho as well.
Which is why he didn't do very well, to be fair.
What a pass though, some pass, but that doesn't legislate for the poor game. No. I mean, for tonight, I'm actually thinking between Mane or Jota tonight. I'm going to say Jota. I think Jota even if he doesn't play well, he scores. Even like that header against Brentford, he's so effective. So I think I'll say Jota tonight. Who you going for, Chris?
It's boring, but I'm going to go Van Dijk. I think this is where we need.
It's not boring, mate. He needs to make up for that performance. I'm only exaggerating.
I think it's where we need the defense step up tonight. I don't worry about Liverpool. I know I know we missed chances, but I'm not worried about Liverpool scoring goals this year. The big difference this year and last year was we weren't creating enough. We're creating tons of chances, and we're taking enough of them to win games. Most games, how many times we scored 3 this year or more. I think we'll create chances against anybody, so I don't worry about that. I just think Virgil I need Virgil to get that defense lined up and lead them a bit. After a bit of a shaky game, so that's my one. So Marquez got 2-1 LFC. Naguim Mohammed's got an ugly 2-0 win. That's all right. Any win's lovely in my book. What's your score, mate?
I actually think 2-0. 2-0. Go for 2-0 for me.
Who's your scorers?
Mane and Jota.
I'm going to go 3-1. I do think Diaz will score for them. And for us, I'm going to go Van Dijk, Mane, because he is 4-4 against Porto. And could it be poignant? Mo Salah to score. Because sadly for Liverpool today, we lost Roger Hunt.
Of course,
who Salah literally just beat his record of getting 100.
Yeah, because we spoke about it the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, so Roger Hunt, World Cup winner, won 2 league titles with Liverpool, won the second division with Liverpool, and won Liverpool's first ever FA Cup against Leeds. Hell of a player. From all accounts, a really lovely man as well. So very sad. It's sad when you lose any of these great players. But yeah, Roger Hunt, he's World Cup winner. You don't get many of them these days. So very sad. So I think it'd be quite poignant if Salah scores because it was such a big thing for him to beat Hunt's record. I mean, look, that record had been there since the 60s. That's how good a player he was. So, and if you haven't seen much of Roger Hunt, just YouTube Roger Hunt. Look, the goals he could score was ridiculous. He'd have had a field day in this sort of era. He'd have been brilliant. He's one of those players that's timeless. So, anyway, back to the scores. We've got another 3-0 in here. Oh, sorry, and I've said 3-1. So we're all confident. Hopefully, plus I'd like to get the win today. Get the Brentford result out of the system.
Could go the opposite way. I don't think it will though. We just need to. I do think the lineup actually shows Klopp's respect for Porto,
Mhm.
and I think there's a great comment there. He said, "Man City game, you got 36 games in the league, you got 6 games in the Champions League," and he was glad to see us going strong tonight. I think that really is, yeah, that comment there. Nah,
There
man,
it
I
is.
completely agree. I think that's a great comment, mate. That
Excellent.
sums up how I feel as well.
Yeah, excellent points. Yeah, can't argue that too much. So, well, listen, if we go tonight, if we can get a win tonight, and then hopefully Milan do us a favour and get something off Madrid, it does have to take a lot of pressure off us. Definitely. The good thing for us is also to look a little bit ahead to Sunday is it's City haven't got a gimme for a change. They haven't got like Shakhtar Donetsk or Wickham. They've got PSG, which say what you want about PSG, but at least that'll give them a game. They're not going to be able to rotate as much as City would like to. Because when they play like a Shakhtar, you can literally play their B team and they'll still win. So that is another thing that'll play into our favour. So,
What do you think? What do you think the City score will be then?
I'm going to go 2-1 PSG.
Yeah, I'd say.
I don't think it'd be like high score or anything like that. I think it'd be tight. I mean, PSG have finally got a decent keeper in Donnarumma.
Yeah, not got a system though, so I don't think it'll
They haven't got a
matter.
system. Defensively, I'm not buying it yet. So
No one's buying it, mate. Kimpembe,
nah,
well, liability waiting to happen constantly.
but we'll see how City do because is the Chelsea result a start of them going on a run, or was it just papering over a few issues they've still got there? No one's perfect at the moment. Kev's going 3-0 City.
Not a bad shout, mate. It's a system with great players against amazing players with no system. The system's going to win. Systems win football games 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think I've just gone for them having a little bit more magic up front that they might.
Don't get me wrong. Lionel
that's
Messi again. Was it like 51 goal and assists for the Barcelona team? And look at the state of them now. And it's like when you've got people know my opinion of Messi. Just for me, the best ever. It's like when you've got him in a team, you've always got a chance. The problem is, I just think at the back, teams City have got great players, like unbelievable players, and they play a system. They work hard. They retrieve the ball. I just feel like last season is the best definition. PSG destroyed them first half, should have scored more, but then PSG couldn't keep that pressure up and keep that play up, and then City just picked them off. And that's how it seems to work. But I hope Messi scores and PSG win. Don't get me wrong, just can't see it.
It's one of those games where I don't think any scoreline will surprise you. Either way,
yeah.
It just feels like one of those games where nothing would surprise you. But I'm hoping for us. I mean, it's always what Herrera's starting over Gini. Well, grass isn't always green.
Herrera's in very good form, though. I think Kev has even said that Herrera's been playing pretty well. It's probably the best form of his career. And we're gonna get Ali was just saying Marquinhos is good. No, he is very good, mate. It's just Kimpembe. I just think in general PSG they either leave too much space, and then when you get against someone really good or a top opposition, they'll just destroy you. And then I feel like Kimpembe is literally, I have no idea how he's got to that position in his life to be on that level, because he's not on that level. He's not even close to that level. But
I always feel like that about Boateng, who plays for Bayern. Well, he did play for Bayern. He's won the World Cup with Germany. He's won loads with Bayern, but I'm just watching. I'm just not having him. Now maybe because I've still got what he was like at City. Because he wasn't great for City.
I think he did improve a lot, but just Kimpembe to me, just like, I mean, Man United played PSG, he's just done him. Like, he's just not intelligent. Like, he just dives into challenges. He's just not a good defender. He's just a liability. He basically reminds me of Dejan Lovren when he was having a bad game. Like, Lovren probably had some good games, but it just, liability waiting to happen, and not good enough for me. Maybe if they play a back three going forward, it might work, but as soon as they get Ramos back, it'll be interesting to see how they get on. But I don't think they work in a four. I just think they're susceptible against the top opposition.
I think you're right. Cool. Right, so it's 7:30. We best go because people also got their pre-match prep to do. So
just before we go, just to say, Ali, good comments. I know I just saw the last one about Kimpembe still young. We'll talk about that later on. That's a fair comment as well. But I just think he has no signs of being a top centre half or anywhere near it. But sorry, Chris, on you go.
That's all right. Okay. We'll have to get this on one of your Conroy Talks shows. For those who didn't see it, Keith was on Conroy Talk last night, and it was I caught the first half out. It was really good. So if you haven't seen it, give it a watch. It's really good.
Yeah, no, it was basically they all had great comments, and I just went, I agree. That's basically it. If you've not seen it,
yeah, that's basically what you call a fantastic host. That's the key.
Mate, it was good. They stole all my answers. They went from Antonio, I was going to say that, then West Ham, then Brighton. And then, it was good though. It was really good. And actually, ironically, Brighton scored in the last minute before we started talking about that. So that was
they did,
really
yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
who do you think, Keith, just before we just finish up to, sorry, Chris, who do you think would be, we spoke about Diaz. Do you think, just a quick question before we finish up, do you think Diaz, that might be something Liverpool will look into eventually? Because there's been, not legit rumours, but there's been a few, especially fan channels have commented on it. Would you look at Diaz? Do you think he would suit us?
Some of that. I'd like sort of that ilk. I do think we need another pace option out wide. I know you'd like a number 9 as well, but I do think we need another pace, just so one of Salah or Mane can have a rest. Because as good as Jota is, and I like Jota, he's not pacey.
He's faster than we think, but he's not fast, if you know what I mean. I think he's not slow, but he's just
not a slow player, but he's not got that blistering pace.
No, it's not rapid, nothing like that.
Yeah.
No. I
think I'd like us. That's what I'd like Liverpool to add to the squad. Probably in the summer now, because let's face it, I can't say he's doing anything in January. But I'd like that sort of an option for you. But I'm interested what subs to bring on tonight, because I've got a feeling Minamino might come on tonight. I think Champions League might suit his style of play a bit better.
Yeah, well, you saw that with Salzburg as well, and there's some good comments there saying Doku is a good comment as well. And Red Steve says fan channels know nothing, Conroy. Absolutely no. There's good opinion, mate. Red Steve just always right for the jugular, doesn't mess about.
Oh, he loves a bit of controversy. That's why I like him in the comments.
Doku's like raw, but he is like, that might suit you who you want, Chris. Doku from
I actually like, to be honest, because Kev knows this. I would pay the money for St. Max, man.
How much do you think St. Max would cost? Because this has been coming up. Rafinha or St. Max is something I saw last night in Coppish.
You'd be talking north of 40-50 million. That's because,
but that's pretty reasonable for.
It's what the worth of that club. Because he's irreplaceable for Newcastle. Whoever Newcastle attract won't be as good as him. I don't think.
50 mils a bargain, I think. Because only 10 mil on top of Jota's price.
Yeah. I like the thought of having at least one Maverick. Now, the only thing with St. Max is he could be Louis Garcia for us. As in, 1 week he'll score an absolute world. You think, what a bargain. Yeah. And then next week he'll fall over his own feet. He'll won't be able to pass the ball 5 yards, and you want to kill him. Because
you'd have to adapt his play a little bit, because he can't do everything himself. He's in a great team. He'll have to fit in.
That's what you think. If he's got better players around it, it might help him, because then he'll realise I don't need to do everything, because I can just give it to Salah, I can give it to Mane, I can give it to Henderson. I've got other options to do. So it could actually work out well. But I always like that he's a bit of a maverick. He's a bit, and I quite like I was thinking he's quite. It's quite good to have at least one maverick, just to give you that bit.
Just someone who's unpredictable, and I think he really is. I'm getting more and more impressed. But I will tell you this: there's the debate I think is going to happen is Rafinha, St. Max. That's what I heard last night, and I think that's a really good debate, because we all know Rafinha has had single-handedly the worst performance this season by any player against United. That was the 0 out of 10 performance of the season out of the full league. He was shocking, but I still think he's a top player. And it'll be interesting, because you probably get more adaptability with Rafinha, because he can play in a few positions, whereas St. Max probably can as well, but he's not going to play centre mid, is he? He's not going to be at 8.
No, you could see Rafinha being adapted to play midfield. Yeah. He's that type of player.
He's got to take the pass on him as well, like that as well.
St. Max is going to be one of the front 3 options. That's the only places you're going to play him. So then again, knowing Klopp, he might play him fullback just to really mess around with us. Right, so anyway. We're done now. But join us after the match, and we'll have the guys here from the Red Sea podcast. It'll give us a post-match view. Hopefully, it's
reaction. Yeah.
That's the word.
Hopefully, reaction. Yeah. Hopefully, we win, mate.
Hopefully, I win. And then tomorrow we've got midweek fix with Jamie. I'm sure there'll be
there's a Porto fan in the chat.
Oh, brilliant! Let's have a quick look.
Let's go FC Porto. Probably a United fan. But
there we go. Hello, Mark.
Marcos.
Marcos.
Fair play, mate.
Nice seeing the chat. That's all right. Everyone's welcome. Cool. And then we've got Avi's show is back on Friday, which is Sports Unplugged, and there will be another women's show coming out probably Thursday or Friday of this week as well. So keep your eye out for that. But until then, take care of yourselves, and hopefully we'll all be cheering a Liverpool win later.